Yo, everybody, I have no idea how that happened. Somehow, some way, our whole Zoom account dropped everybody. I'm so sorry about that, everybody. So sorry. I'm sitting here teaching. I'm like, wait, where is everybody? I apologize. I have no idea why that happened. I thought somebody on my team actually bumped something, and it turns out Zoom just had a little backlash. So no big deal. We're all back. So it's all good. Okay, so so everybody understands that just because you can sell me a house doesn't mean I can make money, right? And I know it sounds like something we shouldn't have to touch base on. It doesn't seem like something we need to chat about all the time, but it's surprising when people are brand new, they don't understand that people that buy real estate actually don't use their own money. And we need to make sure that we have a return on the investment, right? And so this guy's like, well, just run it out. I'm like, okay. And John, the wholesaler who brought the deal to me, this is what ended up happening on the deal. He says, well, what do I do now? Did I get a bad deal? I go, bro, you did not get a deal. There is no such thing as a bad deal or a deal. It's just not a deal. It's a contract. You have a contract. You have a bad contract. We don't venture into the word deal. The word deal tells me that it's an underpriced thing. It's priced appropriately. That's a deal. It's either a deal or not a deal. It's not a bad deal or a good deal. It is a deal or not a deal. You are so far off base. And so here's what ends up happening. I go, dude, who's the seller? You need to cancel this contract. This is so bad. He goes, okay. Yeah, Jenna's still here. She's in the backstage. She'll come back up here in a minute. A deal is always good. There is no such thing as, that's not a great deal. Okay. It's either a deal or it's not a deal. That's it. It's like, oh, you have a contract. You have a contract that's worthless. You don't call it a deal at all. So John says, what should I do? And I said, you're going to have to call the seller and you're going to have to cancel. What's going on with the seller? He says, well, the seller, I don't know, man. I'm in a bad situation because I think she already moved. What this idiot did, and this is why so many people are afraid to jump in this business, because you can screw up somebody's life really, really fast. What John did is he contracted with the lady at $300,000. And he told her, we're going to close escrow in 30 days. Well, guess what she did? She went and packed up her U-Haul. She went and moved all her stuff. She spent $7,000 with the moving company to go across the country, and she's sitting there in the house, sleeping in a sleeping bag, waiting for him to close escrow so she can get her $300,000. I put this on YouTube, by the way. This call was on YouTube. So I ended up calling the seller for him, and I was like, dude, this is why people like you should just stay out of the business. You don't want to learn. You don't want to pay to get a mentor. You just want to watch everything on YouTube. I'm like, where'd you learn how to do this business? He's like, YouTube. I'm like, oh, dude, this is what happens when you're just on YouTube. So I called the lady up. I still own this property to this day. I ended up buying the house, but here's how I bought the house. I called the lady up and I said, hey, my name is Pace. I actually was informed by somebody who has a contract on your house that he doesn't know what he's doing. He actually tried to sell the house to me, and is now not a good time? And she's like, well, it's 11 o'clock at night. It's 8 o'clock my time, 11 o'clock her night. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. It's East Coast time. I'm so sorry. And I could hear her getting out of her sleeping bag to focus on the phone call. I could hear the sleeping bag in the phone call. And she props herself up and she says, what do you mean? He's not going to buy my house. I go, sweetheart, your house is worth 300 grand after it's renovated. He has a contract on 300. How is anybody going to make money on that? And she says, that's what I asked him. Why would an investor, why are you buying my house at 300? Guys, she told him not to buy the house at 300. She didn't beg him. Anyway, so I just asked her, I said, what's the situation? She says, well, I actually had a real estate agent and they tried to sell the house for a couple of months and they couldn't sell the house because I don't have a lot of equity. I was like, oh, okay. So what's the story? She says, I'm a vet. I have a VA loan. I put no money down and now I can't sell the house because there's no equity and I'd have to write a check to get rid of the house. I go, okay. Well, so you're hoping to pay off the loan? She goes, yeah. And I go, what's the loan amount? She says, it's $291,000 is what I owe on the house. I go, great. Why don't I just take over the payments at $291? And I think her payments were 2.5%. And she had a $1,300, $1,400 monthly payment. And I said, why don't I just take over the payments from you and I'll get you $5,000 so you can move across the country into your daughter's house. And she's like, oh my gosh, I was hoping for $5,000. That's all I wanted. That's amazing. After I would have paid off the mortgage, I probably was thinking about walking away with about $5,000, $7,000. And I said, okay, here's what I'll do. I'll give you $8,000, but I'll give you $5,000 now and $3,000 in a year. And she's like, done. And so I bought the house Subto. So it still is okay to buy a house at a high price, but the terms need to be low. It's like a Teeter Totter. So if you want a high price, you better be giving me really low terms. if you don't want to give me terms, then you better be giving me a really low price. That's it. It's a teeter totter. You got to balance this thing out. It's like one goes up, the other one goes down. And so what happened with John is he was one of the people that made me so frustrated at wholesalers that don't take the time to understand, how do people make money in this business? It's really simple. Real estate investors are looking for a return on their money, and sellers are trying to get as much as they possibly can. And so you're negotiating in between all of that. Okay. Sandy Lynn says, is 6.75 too high to Subto to the mortgage? It depends. Can you make money on the 6.25? That's the question. Charles Harris, was there any deal you really wanted and didn't stick to your principles? Yeah, I have. I bought a lot of deals that I shouldn't have done. Okay. So that is how you go from a contract. People think they have a contract and they think they have a deal. They just have a contract. And you don't have a deal until somebody is willing to pay for that price, right? So let's go back to that $300,000 example, for example. If that house's ARV is $300,000, I probably had to buy that at $150 cash to make money on that property. People say, oh, it's 70% minus repairs. Yeah, that's another way of saying 50%. It's so stupid. People are, 70% minus repairs. No, that's stupid. 70% minus repairs. Why don't you just say 50%? Okay. Can I apply this to multifamily as our niche? Yeah, sure. It's 50%. If you're buying anything cash, you're not paying over 50 cents for the properties. Zillow says, hey, the property's $300,000. You're going to be somewhere on 150, 170 max. Okay. Oh, this is what's important about these words that people use of suspect, prospect, contract, deal. Okay. These words are important. Very rarely will people reach out to me and say, I have a suspect. Okay. Most of the time they reach out to me and they say, I have a deal. They go right to the word deal. I have a deal I need help on. No, you don't need a deal you need help on, because if you have a deal, you don't need help. Yes. Clarence says, so a poorly structured contract. There you go. Is there any mortgage company you can get zero down for normal people? Tiffany Hyde. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Any DSCR lender. If you want to go get a mortgage, go to myinvestorloan.com and you can go do no money out of pocket loans all day long. There you go. I have a single family home under contract, more than a 50% spread. Okay, cool. There you go. Then you probably have a deal. If you're at 50 cents on the dollar, then you probably have a deal. Well, let me see if Jenna's still on here, and we'll actually show you guys how to. All right, Jenna's going to come up here, guys. We're going to do some prospecting, okay? We're going to do some prospecting. So if I'm running a business, a real estate business, and I'm just barely starting out, I'm not going to waste any of my time driving for dollars. I'll tell you straight up right now. Stop the driving for dollars thing, unless it's with your kids. If you're doing it with your kids, you're like, hey, what do you think? We used to play this game in my family that was, whoever found the ugliest house on the drive, like we're going to a restaurant, we'd go, hey, whoever finds the ugliest house on the way there wins. And my kids are now looking for houses that are beat up, and we play fun games that way. But guess what? If you find an ugly house, guess what you still have to do? You still have to call them. You still have to text them. You still have to mail them. You have to do something. You can't just go, oh, there's an ugly house, and then all of a sudden you get a deal. Shashat, let's keep the questions on target. Okay? Everybody keep the questions on target today, please, my friends. Okay. So we're going to skip driving for dollars. We're going to skip Zillow. We're going to skip all that stuff, because everybody on here has had this problem that Shelly had yesterday. She was a really good example of, well, I want to go work on real estate, so I'm just going to go talk to people that are trying to sell real estate. No. You talk to people who have pain. Jenna, do you know what your clients' top 3 or 4 lists are that they like to pull?
Like my favorite list?
Your favorite list or other clients?
Yeah. Like some of my top ones are going to be absentee owners, delinquent properties.
Okay. So why absentee owner? Why do you like that?
So I love absentee owner because I usually feel like, well, first off, an absentee owner, for those of you who don't know the definition, it's somebody who owns a property that they're not personally living in. So not an owner occupied property. The reason I like those better is there's usually less emotional connection to it. I like it because I don't usually have to find them another house if I'm buying their house, because if they live in the house, then I usually have to find them another one before I could buy their house. It's usually a quicker turnaround. It's usually either a rental or it's vacant, which I love those scenarios. So it's just, again, if I can flavor it with absentee owner with a lot of other leads that I do, I try to do that because it's a way I cut my list down. But then I like to put in some sort of a level of motivation. So that's where I'll throw in delinquent tax activity. And then what I can do, like from there, like depending on how big my list is, if I can add on vacant on top of that. So if you think about it, and I'll show you guys too, like if I could then take the absentee owner and then focus only on out of state absentee owner. So like, let's like step back and think who we're looking at. Like we have somebody who has a property that they're not personally living in. In fact, they don't even live in the same state as the property. So that's going to be something that's a little bit of a problem. On top of that, nobody even lives in the house. So it's sitting there vacant. And obviously it's nothing but a financial burden. It's on them. And so much so that they're now behind on their taxes. So, I mean, it's like we need to figure out. And then like when we offer the scenario of taking over the payments or buying that property from them, it's like we found their pain point. We twisted the knife and we gave them the pill for it. Like that's the scenario that I'm looking for, is I want to kind of bring it to their awareness. But that is like such a hot list. That has been one of my hottest lists for 2 or 3 years straight. And I'm not saying that they'll thank you when you call them, but when you call these people, it's a different kind of a seller, because at that point, like they're staying up at night, they're fighting with their spouse about it because it's just one of these troubled things. It's something they know they need to do with it and they don't have the time. And that's my favorite list right there.
I love it. My favorite list is foreclosures. And the reason why is because I know the ticking time bomb. In the states that I focus on, I know what their time frame is. I know when they're going to lose their house. I know when to call them and like actually help them out. Jenna says Timothy says Jenna must watch thriller movies. Yeah, so on foreclosures, here's what I like about foreclosures. They can't lie to you. I have a quote that we put on a hoodie a couple of years ago that says, buyers are liars, sellers are worse.
I have a hoodie. I should have put it on. You gave me one of them.
It's a great hoodie. And that quote is so true, because the number one liar I've ever ran into is always like an old lady that you just trust right out of the gate. No, I'm fine. Or no, I'm not talking to 25 other investors. No, you're the only person I'm talking to. All of those types of lies. But the one thing that they can't lie about is that their house is in foreclosure. And if you are in foreclosure, you're losing your home. That's a pretty significant pain point. So you will get people go, no, I'm good. But you'll continue to track the foreclosure. And you can see it's coming up for auction. You can see that they're going to, like Arizona, for example, if the house sells on the trustee block, the sheriff will come to their house in 10 days and kick them out of the house. They will battering ram a door. They will knock a door down, pull a single mom and 3 kids out of the house. That's how Arizona rolls. Texas is very similar. The wild, wild west. Get out of this house. You do not own it. You're trespassing on bank property, or you're trespassing on this person's property. Get out of the house. They have a very, very scary situation. There you go. Kaylee says, that happened to me, literally single mom of 3 kids. Cool. So you understand that. We're not trying, I don't want to prey on those people, but I know I have a solution for those people. And I also know they have a time frame that I have to focus on. Otherwise, I'm guessing, right? Like absentee owners, I like it. It's a larger list, usually. Retired landlords, it's a good list, but they can lie to you really well. Foreclosures can't lie to you. And so let's pull a foreclosure list. Tell me.
Can we do it now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she can filter low equity as well. Can you filter low equity foreclosures and see how many people I have in Maricopa County that have low equity foreclosures?
No. Okay. Can you give me sharing abilities?
Yeah, of course. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pull the list of pre-foreclosures, people that have not been foreclosed on yet. Okay, so start from the beginning, Jenna.
Okay. So let's get back to our
act like you just opened the software.
All right, just logged in. So here we are. We'll pull it up here.
And what's the first button you're going to click on? You're going to go to the area first?
Yeah. So it just asks you, where would you like to invest? So, you said Maricopa, and I'm like the worst speller ever. So I kind of feel like if I spell it the same way each time, I lack creativity is kind of what I tell myself. We'll go with that. Okay. So I picked my county. And again, I told everybody we can go as big as a whole state. We can do it by county, by city, by zip code. And then, so we see here, we have 1.3 million leads. And so what we're going to do is, if you want to see, we'll go down. We can either start here, and you said you want to do the low equity ones first. So we can pick low equity, and then I'm just going to go all the way to like literally the bottom. And then we're going to look here at our last notice date, our pre-foreclosure list. And again, you can either go last 3 months, last 6 months. Is this the area you said it's pretty quick, like a 3-month kind of a thing?
It's fast, 3 months, yeah.
Okay. Well, then we'll just stay with 3 months, because there's no point in going anything bigger then. So 177 people here that have low equity that are in a pre-foreclosure.
Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? Literally, guys, pay attention to this. Dennis Sylvan, do you pay per list? No. You do not pay per list, okay? Listen. This is 177 people that are actively in the process of losing their home that have low equity. Jenna, you could also click on them and see what their interest rate is. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah, like I can see everything. And that's why I was saying, like, sometimes I feel like it's unfair. Like this person, like the fact that actually it looks like it just sold. Like so, like that may not be the best one. So they must have had it online to try to sell, obviously. But like the fact that we could pull up images and things like that. But let's just kind of pull, since we have this one pulled up here, like we can see all the previous sell information, what it was listed for, what it sold for. This one, we can see all that. Like, look, you can see here it was listed for that, sold for that. I mean, that would have been a perfect scenario unless they needed to have it paid off on their name. But
Yeah.
we can see here, this is their mailing address. We could come down, like, let's look at all the financials so we can see all that down here. They owed $1,000 with a payment of $2,600, which their interest rate was a 5.3%.
All
Is
right.
what they,
Not great, not bad.
but let's see here. So if their payment was $2,600, let's go back up to the top here and let's see if we have
Actually, go down again one more time.
okay.
I want to show people something interesting. So go back to the mortgages, the interest rate real quick.
Okay.
This is what's so fun. Okay. Jenna made a really funny comment yesterday. She said, deal detectives. Okay. So what are we being a detective of? Look where her arrow is right now. It says Discover Bank. Okay, cool. Move down one level. Okay. You see how they did a refinance and a refinance. This freaking family has done a refinance multiple times and sucked the equity out of this property a couple of times. So what will happen is you'll see people doing refinances. So they went from, check this out. They sold. Okay. So they finally sold it. They did a refinance and they owed 438 and then they sold it to the next family. What was the next family get a new conventional loan for? What does that say at the top?
No, I think that was still them.
Okay, cool. So
yeah. Because you can hear so they bought it back in, let's see here. So they bought it in 2019.
okay,
And
good time to buy.
yeah, so it looks like this is what their loan was here for this amount here. And then they did, oh no, actually, let's go back here. So they bought it. Let's go back to the original. Well, there's some liens on it too. Ooh, there, yeah. I mean, that would have been such a great one. Look, they had a homeowners association lien, utility liens. I mean, like there was a lot going on.
Okay, so does everybody understand that we have now prospected? We can see all the pain points. They have a Liz pendants, which is a pending lawsuit. They have the HOA that liened their property. They also have refinanced their home multiple times. What does that tell you? That tells you the story that these people have lost their jobs, they're in a fight, something's going on inside of that home. Dennis says, I feel for them. Perfect. If you feel for them, you solve their problem with the tools of creative finance. This is a creative finance deal. This is not a cash deal. There's no physical way you can get a cash deal. Heidi Deer says, what's a warranty deed? Don't worry about it. Focus on finding people to talk to first before you worry about what a warranty deed is, okay? You're getting the cart before the horse is even born. I'm telling you. Okay. So can you mention the filters for the list one more time, please? Lorraine, my friend. No, I don't know. Jenna, should we let's do it one more time. Go back to the beginning. Let me call one of these sellers.
Well, before we do, just to kind of close this one out, like just even to show you guys, like in 2019 is when they bought it and they bought it for 424. But look, you can even see here, like the fact that their loan was that much more than the actual sales price was obviously they financed in their obviously they financed in some additional things. So that just goes to show you, obviously that they couldn't afford the house in the first place. But then obviously you can see here, then this is when they did the refinances, they're able to, pull out different things and, then obviously sold it. But to go back to the list here, all that we did is we just went into your specific geographic location. We just focused on low equity. So if you're like, what is a low equity property? How do you define that? You can come in here. Obviously you can see here, loan to value is greater than 80%. If you ever need to see our glossary to actually figure out, well, why would I actually want to target somebody like that? It's going to be able to tell you, you can see here, why we would want to target somebody like that. We also have our frequently asked questions. So a lot of times when you guys are sitting there, like, how often is the data updated or what does this mean? Well, first off, some of our data is updated every 5 minutes, but you can come in here and see those different answers. But we're going to pick low equity and then we're going to go all the way to the bottom because that just happens to be where the foreclosure and the pre-foreclosure info is. And all that I did is I just selected the last 3 months. And then we had 177 people. And in this case, like some people may say, well, I have a team of virtual assistants and they can plow through 2,000 leads a day. Okay, that's fine. But in this case, we're looking at quality over quantity.
We also are not talking to anybody with 8 virtual assistants on this live. And if you are, you should go jump on one of the trainings inside of Subto.
There you go. Well, okay. Well, then in that case, 177 is a perfect like bite-sized list for you guys. And then all that we're going to do is just start reaching out to these people. So we can take this list, we can select them all. Because obviously, like that's great, we have this list, but what do we do with it? And if we take this list here, you guys can skip trace it right here for 10 cents. So you'd spend less than $20. So $17.70. And that's assuming that we get every single one of their phone numbers. Like if we don't, then you get credited back. So it's not like you're going to have to pay for something you don't get, or you can download them outside of the system if you want to. You can direct mail them if you want to. Like right now we're running a super fantastic direct mail promo in the system. So right now, like before it was like a tiered type of setup to where, you know, you had to send so many to get a discounted price. And we noticed that people weren't sending as much mail. So what we did is we brought it to the highest tier. So the price you're getting now for postcards is as though you're sending out 50,000 pieces and getting a postcard for 52 cents, which I mean, I think
That's
it's
crazy.
I think his stamp is more than that. I don't know how we're doing it. So I don't ask, but yeah, like, so that's an option too. Like for those of you that are too busy, that don't have time to cold call. But I was telling them, Pace, like I love cold calling. Like I feel like it takes me back to my prank calling days as a kid, like back in those fun days. But that's all that we're doing, guys, is we're taking this list and we're just calling these people. And like the main things when we call these people, like the things that come across my mind when I'm like, I get a telemarketer is, who are you? What do you want? And how did you get my information? And obviously, yeah, I'm sure you teach everybody like very nice elevator pitches of ways to build credibility. But the thing is like, we're not calling these people and be like, hey, Charles, hey, you know, luckily for you, you're on my list of people that can't pay your mortgage. So do you want to sell it to me at a below market value price? Like, heck no.
Yeah.
Like we're not obviously hitting them with that, but like it like I said, it's like we know everything about these people, like this person right here. So Joshua, like let's look at Joshua's scenario. And again, like we're integrated with Google Maps as long as Google has been there. So like we can come here, like we can virtually see this property, you know, so we can kind of get a feel, look at the neighborhood, kind of get a, you know, get an idea of what we're working with. A lot of these neighborhoods, like, you know, everybody's trying to keep up with everybody. So again, like, you know, we can kind of get the feel of that area. And then we can see here our system values this property as is right now, somewhere around a little under 600K. So that's something good for us to know. And as we scroll down here, like we can see here, it's basically telling us that these people, if they go to sell their property, they most likely are going to have to sell it more towards retail for obvious reasons, you know, which is, you know, because obviously they owe pretty much on it close to at or, you know, somewhere around what it's worth. And then we can come in here, we can see the mailing address. Again, you know, we can see it was built in 2020, a little under 3,000 square feet, all the stats on it. But really what we want to see is the financials on it. So we can come down here, we can see that this property was sold back in 2022, and there was a loan for $531,000, which out of that, they owe somewhere around 508K. And their payment is somewhere around $3,000 with an interest rate. Well, actually, you can see like this dreaded like refinance.
People, this is what happens with people, guys. They run out of cash. They go, ooh, I want to stay in my house, but I want to stay here, but I want cash. Even though their rate has gone up 2.27%, they go do a refinance, pull out $240,000 in cash. Now their payment goes up significantly. Guess what happens? Go into foreclosure.
And this wasn't the first time that he's gone through this, like back in 2023. I mean, again, I know that's like he was able to pull himself out of it because you can see here back in 2023 in July that he was started to go through the process and was able to pull himself out. But we can see like right here, like if he doesn't do something on June 5th, his house is going to auction. And you don't call these people and say like, you know, it's either the bank's going to take it or you're going to sell it to me. Obviously but that's what it comes down to. Like if you can't fix this, if you can't get out of this scenario, you have two options. Like you're going to have to either sell it or have it taken away from you. Either way, you're not keeping this house if something doesn't change. And if you can be the one that builds rapport and credibility. And like I saw like, what was it? Like there was a lady in the chat, was it Carly or somebody like that said like, like that happened to her. Like it was a single mom with 3 kids. Like the fact that you've gone through that yourself will give you such a different level of credibility with people. Like if you sit down at their table and they start to choke up and you can put your hand on their hand and say, I know exactly what you feel. I've been there before. I remember every phone call that I'd constantly get and every letter that would come in the mail. Like I know what it feels like to have everybody just seeming like they're there to try to take advantage of me. But that's not what we're here to do. And you're able to really help them and save them. Like in our business, we always have a people first, money second scenario. Like that's how we always focus. Like I call it karma marketing is how I focus on it. Because obviously when you do the right thing, whether like in this scenario, whether you're able to just help refer them, help guide them, help do something, whether it's a good deal or whether you can make something out of it, but you could change this person's life. But they like we have 177 people. And then like some investors will be like, oh, I don't want to take advantage of these people. Well, I mean, we're not taking advantage of them. Like, what if they have no idea what to do? Like, what, I mean, like, even like another filter that we can do is like, again, like, we want to be like mindful of this, but what if we look at upside down that are in a pre-foreclosure scenario? Like, again, like, we want to be mindful. We have 64 of those people, but like somebody like this person, 108%, like, let's take a peek at William. So this is a property that was sold back in 2023. We can come down here. We can see this is like the old listing description, you know, like back whenever it was sold before. We can, and like the reason this one's high, like this may be in a rental kind of a market, or it may be currently a rental or in a neighborhood where there's a lot of rental activity. But either way, when we come down, we see again, it's like these like fairly newer kind of houses. Like these are probably like newer subdivisions that people bought into back when, you know, things were better, economy was better. And now it's like, I mean, I've heard like from the things that I hear, and I don't want to get too like into like the crystal ball of what happens in real estate, but like what I've heard coming up in the next year or two is going to be worse than what we experienced back into that between 2008, 2012, like way more foreclosures than we have ever seen because things are more expensive than we have ever experienced. And people are living like before, if you look back into like, I'm sure like pace back when you were younger, like back even before that, like our parents' generation, like people could survive with one income. And then all of a sudden it had to be like, okay, well, 2 parents need to work. And then it became like 2 parents need to work, but some of them are working 2 jobs. And then people talk about paycheck to paycheck. And like that to some people is a dream because they're going paycheck to paycheck, but credit cards in between. And now they can't pay it all. And the thing that happens is like when somebody's not paying their mortgage, that means they're not paying their utilities, their phone, they're probably having, you know, water shut off here and there. Like everybody's calling them, everybody's out to get them. And then you could be that person that could literally change their life. But we can see here, like this person's not that far off. Like our system values it somewhere around $488,000. I mean, again, like they're upside down on here, but like what if their payment is decent? Like their interest rate's still kind of 0.39%, like their payments.
The only way you're going to save that person is if you can figure out how to make money on that property, which would be probably a co-living situation. But the problem is it's in an HOA. Airbnb is dead. I've been telling people to get out of Airbnb in 99% of the marketplace for 3 years. I told people like it's going to die. All my friends that are in Airbnb are like, stop saying that. You're making everybody not come and watch my YouTube videos. My guys, Airbnb is gonna die. So, does DealSauce show rent rates?
Well, funny you should ask that because we literally just revamped our comping tool like yesterday, and now it shows us rented properties, which we never had before.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I actually just saw it for the first time today at like 1:30.
I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah. So
Pablo, everybody, this is direct from MLS feeds, which means even in your state of Texas that has non-disclosure, we have MLS access. So we have the data from Texas. Is that correct, Jenna?
Yes, we have the non-disclosure information in the last 5 years worth of data. So the days of not knowing what's going on, we don't have that anymore. Like here's another one, Pace, like this is in your area. This one is obviously to the point where they have their property listed for sale. Again, like we can kind of be the fly on the wall, take a peek at everything. You know, we can see all that stats. But then obviously when we come down here all the way to the financials, let's like get motion sickness as we go. But we can see here that they have, you know, it's a property that they owe $530K on. We can see their payments $2,700. We can see that they owe their interest rates 4.16% interest. So if they owe 530, let's see what it's listed at. They have it listed for sale here. Where are we at here? I don't know. So I don't know how they have it cheaper than that, but I guess a short sale scenario or something like that. I mean, what would you think? Are they going to probably bring cash to closing?
That's a good question. Should I call them?
I mean, this may be a good one. Like this.
Let's have, do you have the agent's information? Can you pull that up?
Yep, I can. But you can see here it's been on the market for 75 days. I mean, you want to, so we're talking about Tony right here.
Guys, please don't call this agent while I'm talking to them. This is why I hate doing things for free for people. I find that when I do things for the free Facebook group, there's always an asshole that calls the agent while I'm calling them. So please don't do that. And it's one of the reasons why I stopped doing the Elephant Challenge a couple of years ago, is because people would call the agents that I was talking to like literally live. Okay, so please don't. Okay.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. 602-361-5867.
Okay, so this is one of the biggest problems also in the industry, is that a lot of agents just don't answer their phone. Hi, Tony. I'm just going to say my name's Jordan. That's my middle name, guys, so I'm not lying. Sarah Cruz. I like how Sarah thinks that she's my boss. Sarah, do you think you're my boss? Because I'll do whatever you tell me to. If you pay my paycheck, I will do whatever you want me to. Okay, let's say this is Jordan calling about, what's the street name? Lone Tree. All right. Texting him. Here's why you text right after you call, is because a lot of times.
To an automated voice messaging system. 6023.
So here's a little trick. If you call, Kevin says, call until you get an answer. Interesting, Kevin. Kevin, do you know how like phone calls work? Like if it goes direct to voice memo, either the phone is off or they're clearing my call. Okay. Call twice. Raza, I did call twice. I don't know I'm listening to anybody that asks me what a script is. How about that? If you guys, let me ask you a question. If you are still asking, can you please give me a free script? You do not give me direction. Okay.
Yeah, there's a setting in your iPhone that if there's a number that's not saved in your phone, it grabs
automated voice messaging.
voicemail. So people could probably have that. But I don't know why a realtor would have that. Like
I have that setting turned on my phone.
Yeah, but you're also not a realtor that's trying to get people to call you about a listing that you have advertised to people that are not in your phone. Like that's kind of counterintuitive.
Right. So a lot of times, by the way, I sent him a text. He has a blue bubble, so he has an iPhone, and he might have given up on this listing a long time ago. Can we call the seller? Let's find the seller's information.
Okay. So we would just need to skip trace them. Sorry, I didn't mean to stop sharing, but I can grab it here. And I don't think I'm sharing here, but I'll grab it here offline.
Yeah, do it for me, please. So she's going to skip trace, which means finds the seller's phone number. By the way, I never call the seller around the agent. I think that's a big no-no. I'm just telling you guys right now, look at me in the eyes right now. What I'm doing is a big no-no. I do not want you doing this. I just want to satiate you hungry animals for a phone call, okay? We're gonna call and I'm just gonna say, hey, I was driving by and I saw your ugly house. No, that's not what you said. That's not the line, right? Is there a script? Do we have a script? Jenna.
Are you asking me for the script?
When you met your husband and you guys went on a date, did he read a script?
He did not read a script.
Did you read a script?
No, I did not.
Okay. So what you're telling me is that it's perfectly okay for two human beings to just have a conversation?
Yeah.
Without a script?
Mm-hmm.
So you were like curious about each other. So you just asked questions of like, what's going on in your life? Tell me more. Okay, that's interesting. Got it. That's basically the only thing I need to worry about when I'm on the phone call.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Y'all are crazy. If you think scripts are going to be the thing for you, y'all are crazy. Half of y'all have gotten married and had children and you didn't have a script there, but you want a script on what to say to a human being that you don't even have to sit down and buy dinner for. Y'all are smoking something. Just be two human beings and talk. That's it. It's not even freestyle. It's just, here's the question you got to ask. Are you not genuinely curious about what's going on with this house? On the market for 75 days. It's listed higher. It's listed lower than what they owe. That's what Jenna just found out. It's listed lower than what they owe. Are you not curious about that? That's all I'm going to ask the seller. I'm going to say, dude, hey, I tried to call your agent. Here, I don't even know what I'm going to say. I have no idea. I'm not reading off a script. Do you have a phone number? You want to text it to me?
No, so I ended up not getting a phone number on this one. So like when I skip trace it, this one is not coming up for some reason. Again, like we don't get every single one of them, but for this, of course, the one that we want to try to get, I couldn't get.
Let's do another one then.
Okay.
It's listed lower than what they owe. So what does that tell you? Like, aren't you curious? Give me a yes if you're curious.
I think the only thing I can think of is like because I see that it's like in some kind of a trust. So that's the only thing is like maybe whoever is trustee is paying some of it down. Like that's the only thing I can think. Because like when we come down here, it's in some kind of a living trust.
Okay. Will you go?
So-
Will you copy and paste that name in, and maybe we go to True People Search. See if True People Search will pull something up.
They could give me a bunch of viruses. I never went there before. We'll try it.
They might. I don't like True People Search, but sometimes it works.
True people like that. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Just copy that and copy and paste that. What you typed in there. There you go. And get rid of the living trustee thing. Who knows? Let's just see what happens. Actually, you know what we should do is just put Ashley in there. Current phone number. Delete Christopher M and the word and from there, and just leave Ashley J.
See if and what is all that on there? Why did it change it to Cashly?
Because it's freaking it's free. That's why. Okay, so here we go. This is her. Lives in Anthem. Used to live in Peoria. Okay, there you go. There, that's probably the house. Related to Blair D. Swan. Okay, a few details. She's 45.
Right here.
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess. Okay, there you go. Let's call her up.
Let's wing it.
Let's wing it.
And if anybody else finds a better number, help us out there.
Okay, let's call her up. It's 6:50. That's not too late. What's the address on the house again?
Please leave your message for
Don't these people know who you are, Pace?
I hope not. I hate when people recognize me on these calls. It makes people think that I have a cheat code or something.
You the guy from the TV shows?
They're like, I'm your subscriber on YouTube. It's like, aren't these people trying to sell a house?
You would think. I mean, let's just look them up on Facebook.
Maybe she's single and some guy in here is gonna get a new wife. I've heard of people. I'm not joking. I've heard of people. Hey, Eddie Solis, did you really pull a good number? Or are you just trying to punk me?
Oh, Antonia got a number. Their landline right there.
Landline 940. You're gonna give me a 940 number? Come on, bro. That's not a landline in Arizona. That's okay. Michelle Rice says 623. Isn't it crazy? I have no idea what I'm gonna say to this person.
Just gonna wing it.
I mean, yeah,
think
we wing
You've
it all
done
the
this
time.
before, though, right? You've called a couple people.
Yeah, a couple times.
Hello?
Hey, is this Chris?
Yes, this is. Are you calling about the house?
Yeah, I've been trying to get a hold of the
It's
agent.
already sold. It's already sold.
Awesome.
It's sold. Been there, done that.
Congrats,
There's
man.
nothing more that you can do. I've gotten 40 calls today. I'm done. I don't want to talk to any more realtors, investors, nothing. The house is sold. Goodbye.
Okay. Hey, guys, by the way, that's the worst thing that could happen in your entire life right there. That was the worst call I think I've ever had in my life. Let's call another one.
I thought you were going to say, let's call them back. And we all should.
No, I've done all that, and it's funny for a while, but then
No,
like,
no, I'm kidding. So, but why would he say that? Like, if it's obviously it's not sold.
I think
He just doesn't want to be the one to deal with it. He wants the realtor because it's been on the market for how long?
I think what's happening is, I don't know. Let me text him. Chris,
Chris, I didn't like your attitude. It hurt my feelings. You make me not want to do real estate anymore.
I'm just going to say, hey, Chris, you just hung up on me, which I understand. Just want you to know that the home is still active. If you told your agent to take it offline, you'd stop getting calls.
And obviously we kept trying to call your agent and they didn't respond to us.
Also, your agent doesn't pick up phone calls. So that might be why you keep getting calls.
I've called people back afterwards and I'm like, I think we got disconnected. They're like, no, I hung up on you.
Oh, yeah. So he's read my messages. So I said, hey, Chris, you just hung up on me, which I totally understand. Just want you to know that the home is still active. If you told your agent to take it offline, you'd stop getting calls. Also, your agent doesn't pick up calls. So that might be why you keep getting calls. Also, you suck. That's what I said. Sorry, I didn't say that last part.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do another one. It's not too late. By the way, guys, can I break some things down for you? Jenna, let's pause for just a second.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. Everybody focus on my screen, not on Jenna's curls. Okay. By the way, those are natural. Don't ask her if she's using a Dyson vacuum roller set or something like that. I'm telling you, it's natural though. Okay. So Jenna, here's what's interesting. Do I ever have to call an agent or a seller in order for me to make money in real estate? Yes or no?
Do you have to?
Yeah. Do I have to?
I mean, it's probably good to do that unless you're getting leads brought to you.
Or how about this? If I'm doing a deal, right? Every deal starts with what, guys? Every deal starts with a seller. Every deal starts with a seller. If there's somebody in here that is a wholesaler that is doing what I just did right there, where they're calling and they're getting hung up on and they're negotiating and they're doing all of those things, and they walk away and they get this amazing thing called a contract, right? That big C letter. They get a contract on this house. Couldn't I just buy the contract and go flip the house? Like, do I have to go and be the wholesaler in order for me to be in real estate? Yes or no? Do I have to call sellers? No. In fact, a lot, like I just bought a $3 million RV park today. Okay. And this $3 million RV park, I paid $60,000 to somebody in my community that just set up an appointment for me and I closed the deal. So they didn't even have to like negotiate the contract. I did the contract. There's so many different ways to make money in this game. What we're doing is we're showing you this person's role right now, which is finding the seller. And that's the beginning of the transaction. I didn't buy the RV park today. I think we close in like, I don't know, 30 days or so. I'm closing on a $6 million RV park in Big Spring, Texas in a few days. I think the 9th of this month. And the person that brought me that deal got $100,000, right? It was somebody I taught how to go find deals. They brought the deal to me and I paid them $100,000 finder's fee. So you guys have to understand there's so many different ways to make money. If you're like, I just want to buy assets. I don't want to have, there's three types of ways to do this, guys. Here, let's break this down for me and my friend Jenna. I think she already knows this. Okay. There's either earnings. You either make earnings. You either do earnings, equity, or ownership. Okay. Earnings means I'm just making today earnings, like an assignment fee. I'm finding a deal for somebody else. Equity means I can go to somebody like me and say, hey, Pace, I want to bring a deal to you, but I want to get a sliver of that deal and I want to be an owner with you. And that's kind of a partnership. Okay. I actually call this the wedge method. People wedge into deals with me all the time. They bring me something and I buy it. Ownership is what I do now. I primarily just buy things to own them and hold them for a long time. So most people that are new, this is you. You're like, I need earnings. I need to go earn some money. Okay. How many people in here are like, I want to earn money right now, 10 grand, 5 grand, et cetera. Okay. There you go. So what we're teaching you right now is if you're going to earn money, you have to find something for somebody that's looking for that thing. So think about who are the people out there in the business. You've got fix and flippers, you've got developers, you've got holders, right? People that are holding property. These people don't want to look for deals anymore. Why? Because they're busy doing this stuff over here. So what we're essentially teaching you, I know this is really basic, we're teaching you how to go out and be a finder of deals. Okay. You are a finder. Now, here's an interesting one as well. This is something I teach as well. It's called the bird dog method, where now you don't even have to be the wholesaler. I just paid a girl named Dajé. Actually, let me pull up Dajé real fast. I just paid a girl named Dajé to bring me a deal that was already under contract and a girl named Kelly. Let's see if I can find them in my photos. I think I can. Oh my gosh, if I could find her in here by just typing in Kelly, that would be crazy. Okay, here we go. Yeah, boom, check it out. So this girl right here, I literally just paid Kelly. Her name is Kelly Humbarger. I just paid her $10,000 for bringing me a flip. Okay, Kelly Humbarger. Hey, so you just said you paid this person in the Subto community to pay, so do all these deals we find you, they have to be under contract at that point? That's a different conversation for another day. So she's a transaction coordinator and she's afraid of calling sellers. She's afraid of calling agents. She's afraid of negotiating. Okay. And so I taught her how to do the wedge method. Let's see if I have another one here. Let's see. Okay. This girl right here, Dajé. Oh, okay. There she is. There's video. Check this out. This is really, really cool. So I tell a lot of people, hey, if you just want to find a deal from somebody who's found a deal, you can make $5,000, $10,000 on that. Kelly Humbarger is like, that's not a real thing. I'm like, it is a real thing. So Kelly Humbarger in the Subto community, she says, so what do I have to do? I go find houses that are already under contract from other people and bring them to me and I'll pay you a finder's fee, $10,000, $5,000, whatever. And so I bought a property in Chandler from her and she made 10 grand finding a deal that somebody else already had under contract. I call it bird dogging. I then went and did a meetup at this property, as you can see, and I had like 50 people come and see how the deal was, being worked. One of the people that was at the meetup was this girl right here in the dreads. Her name is Dajé. And Dajé's like, that sounds too good to be true. I'm like, okay, well, you can say what you want to say, but it's definitely real. And 5 days later, I was handing Dajé a check for $10,000 too. So Dajé came to the meetup, met me and let's see if Dajé is even in this video. Okay, so as teacher, there's Dajé. Okay, cool. So you don't have to call agents. You don't have to call sellers. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. What you want to learn, however, in my opinion, is you want to learn this because you want to learn how to control your own destiny. You don't want to be in a situation where you're relying on other people to find deals. As you scale, it's kind of nice to get your first deal, make 10 grand, be like, oh my gosh, this business is real. It's real. Oh my gosh, I got 10 grand. I got 20 grand. But oh my gosh, this is crazy. You're going to spend that money in 2 weeks. Hell, you probably have credit card debt right now. You'd go wipe that out with right now. 20 grand isn't going to last you 14 minutes. Okay. So I will, by the way, I will not do deals with people outside of the Subto community. I just don't. I stopped doing that in 2023. It's like babysitting. I'm doing my babysitting right now. I'm doing my like pro bono work right now. No charge, completely happy to help, all of that kind of stuff. Want to get you guys doing deals with the Subto members. But if you're not in Subto, I can do 5 deals with a Subto member in the same time it takes me to do 1 with somebody who's not. Happy to help for free. I don't look at my deals. Who looks at my deals? I have a team. So my team, when they work with non-Subto members, they get a deal sent to them. They're like, oh my gosh, they're calling a suspect a deal. Oh my gosh, can you please not have non-students? Can you please? And so in 2023, my team stopped doing deals with non-students. I'm sorry. No, I said it. You gators are crazy. You're crazy. You're crazy, crazy. What happened with the woman you called the other night, the queen of mobile homes? Hey, Vince, good question. Okay, so Joanna, let's pull Joanna up here for a minute and let's have this conversation. Because I'm sure that Jenna has done this as well. Joanna, how you doing? Joanna.
Hi there.
What up? How you doing?
I'm great, and you?
I'm really good. Are you ready to watch me explain your question? It's a really good question.
Of course, of course.
Okay. So here's how this business works. Okay. Let's just do a really quick breakdown of this. Okay. Please pay attention. Everybody in here, pay attention. I'm going to break your brains on something. It's really simple. And then you're going to ask me a silly question in 45 seconds because you're mowing your lawn like that one dude. Oh, sorry, Pace. I wasn't paying attention. I was mowing my lawn. Okay, here we go. Joanna, you ready?
I am.
Okay, everybody in here. This is a test for everybody in here. Where do deals start, Joanna? Where do all deals start, Joanna?
What do you mean by start?
Where's the beginning of a deal? Where does a deal start?
A deal is
The deal starts with a seller.
yeah.
Obviously, somebody has to sell something in order for you to buy it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So every deal starts with a seller. Every deal ends with what?
Sure.
It's like a dozen eggs, my friends. The farmer, this is the farmer, and this is the consumer, the person who eats the eggs, right? Every deal starts with the farmer making eggs, okay? And then he sells it to a store, and then that store sells it to the person who eats eggs, right? Are we all following? Give me a yes. Come on. Cool. Joanna, are you feeling okay? Are you feeling comfortable? You want me to keep picking on you?
I'm good.
Okay, cool. So Joanna, I'm going to ask you again, where does every deal start?
Seller.
There you go. The deal always starts with the seller. So do buyers know how to reach out to sellers directly?
Yes.
No, hell no. You don't even know how to reach out to a seller directly. What are you talking about? You're in here right now learning how to call a seller directly. Do you think families that are moving into houses know how to reach out to sellers like I just called that seller that said, don't call me again? Do families that are moving into houses know how to call sellers that are in foreclosure? Yes or no? Hell no, they do not. So they're going to need some help. Okay. By the way, you guys know how I teach, right? You know, I have 12 siblings in my family. I use dry humor and I tease people to show that I love them. Do you guys know that about me? And Joanna, you know I'm not yelling at you, right? Can you feel my warm hug? And it's just me wanting to teach you.
Yeah.
Okay. So if every deal starts with a seller and every deal starts with a buyer, but the seller doesn't know who the buyer is and the buyer doesn't know who the seller is, don't you feel like they need some help?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So who is the person that helps them? Well, that person is called a wholesaler, or what we should do is they are the deal finder. Okay. What they're going to do is they're going to take what we've been talking to you guys for the last couple of days. They're going to use DealSauce and they're going to go pull a list and they're going to call those sellers directly and they're going to get hung up on 50 times and then have one good conversation. Does this make sense, everybody? Come on, give me a yes. We got 600 people in here. Make sure that we're turning the page. I want to get a yes before I turn the page to the next step, because then somebody's going to be like, hey, I was mowing my lawn. I didn't know what you were talking about. Joanna, are you following me?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, cool. So Deborah, if this house is in bad condition, is a family, okay, let's draw this out. You got a husband, a wife, and 2 kids that want to move into a house that's fully renovated. That's the average family, right? Everybody understand that about families. They're not looking to buy houses that are not renovated, right? Okay. So if this buyer is looking for a renovated house, what is wrong with this house right now that's not renovated? Is that a good house for that buyer to buy? No. So here's how this business works, my friends. The business works like this. The wholesaler goes and finds the deal. Then the wholesaler sells that deal to who? They sell that deal to a flipper. Somebody's going to renovate the property, add value, spend money on it, put crews on it, add nice tile, and they're going to go and sell that house to a family fully renovated. There's at least 2 people between the seller and the buyer. Does this make sense, everybody? Joanna, the main person I care about is you. Does this make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay, it's
My main
pretty basic,
question
right?
my main question was about if there a difference between a wholesaler
I'm getting there. I promise you. I know your question. I promise you I'm getting there. If I just told you yes, there's a difference, would that have answered your question? No. I am Joanna. You know when an airplane takes off on a runway, right? They have like this little thing, and then they have an airplane that's going to take off, and they got to like go on the runway before they get enough speed to then take off, right? You following me? I'm right here. We are about to take off. We are about to answer your question. We just built momentum with our little plane. I just told you the backstory of who these people are and what they do, and we're about to take off, and I'm about to answer your question. Okay? So here we go. Let's go through it one more time for all my friends in the back. Every deal starts with a seller. Okay? Every deal ends with a family that's buying that house. Okay? Mom, dad, 2 dads, 4 moms, whatever it is that you guys are doing over there in Pennsylvania. I have no idea. Okay? So somebody's got to find this deal first, right? So we're going to find the wholesaler. Okay, the wholesaler is going to find that deal. We're going to call them a wholesaler. They're going to call this seller, and they're going to get that seller under contract. So let's just say they're going to get this house under contract for $100,000. The wholesaler now is going to go find a fix and flipper, and they're going to try and sell this house to them for, let's say, $120,000. How much money did the wholesaler make, Joanna?
20,000.
20,000. Okay, cool. So here's where I'm going to answer your question. What does a flipper do all day long? Are they out looking for deals? No. They are renovating. They're dealing with contractors. They're negotiating with the permit department. They're raising capital. They're dealing with all sorts of stuff. Okay. They're doing anything but looking for deals. And so fix and flippers are busy. 99% of their focus is right here on this circle. Does this make sense, Joanna, my friend? I'm almost going to explain to you what the difference is, okay? Now, when you look at a wholesaler, guess what wholesalers are doing? They're spending 99% of their time over here. Think about that guy just hung up on me, right? They have to talk to 1,000 of those people over and over and over and over. So where is 90% of their time spent? Right there. Do they have time really to find buyers? No. So what a bird dog is, somebody that comes in and puts these two people together, a bird dog spends their time working and finding deals for a fix and flipper. I have a lot of bird dogs that work for me. And so what I do is I tell bird dogs like yourself, I say, hey guys, my team doesn't want to look for deals. My team wants to go out and flip houses. So if you want to go find houses that are already under contract, we'll pay you a $5,000 or $10,000 bird dog fee. And so these bird dogs, they only work, listen to me, I'm going to give you a big nugget here. Bird dogs work for one buyer. They're not going out and looking for 500 buyers. They're working for one buyer. So like Kelly Humbarger and Dajé, the people I just showed you that I just paid 10 grand and 10 grand to, Brandon Sample says, but this is Elephant Challenge, not the bird dog training. Brandon, I'm just wondering, like when you make a comment like that, what are you trying to accomplish? Help me understand what you are trying to accomplish. So Joanna, a bird dog then goes and talks to all the wholesalers in town and says, hey, wholesaler, I have a buyer that's looking for deals. Can you send me all of your deals? Okay, so does the bird dog have to call the seller? Does the bird dog have to manage the contractors? Does the bird dog have to go pull a list and negotiate and worry about the contracts and do any of those types of things? Okay. Alita says, so much sarcasm. Yeah, you know, that's the interesting thing about Alita. If I'm going to hang out for like 3 hours at a time, I want to have a little bit of fun. And I could go off and be like crass and rude and do stupid things, or I could just have a little bit of dry humor and we can all have a little bit of fun. That might not hurt anybody. So we might as well do that, you know? So, you know, Alita, did you not have any siblings? Did nobody ever tease you in your life? Just have some fun, okay? Or go get some siblings. They'll tease you. They'll throw mashed potatoes across the table at you. Okay. Go get in a food fight. Okay. Okay. So Joanna, the bird dog can make $5,000, $10,000 really, really quickly, usually within like 10 to 20 days. And they don't have to go call sellers. They don't have to do what I just did. They don't have to pull any list whatsoever. Okay. Now your question is, what's the difference between the wholesaler and the deal finder? Is that the main question?
Yeah.
Do you understand now the difference between the bird dog and the wholesaler?
Yeah.
Okay, so which person would you like to be?
Actually, the flipper.
You want to, okay, the flipper. Perfect. Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. That's great. So here's what's cool. You are a buyer. Now, here's what's interesting, Joanna, when you're Hispanic, I would imagine, right?
I'm French.
What? Okay, I love it. You're French. And where do you live, Joanna?
Mexico.
Bro, did she just do that to me? She just told me, I guess, are you Hispanic? She says, no, I'm French. Great. Where do you live? Mexico. What? Joanna. Okay, so you're French, but you live in Mexico. I love it. This is getting the best of me, this curiosity. Where do you want to flip houses?
That's a good question. I don't know yet.
Okay, not Mexico. I'll tell you that.
No, not Mexico.
Mexico sucks for real estate. You want to know why? Because your country doesn't let you guys own real estate. They give you like 100-year land lease. It's kind of a funky situation. What part of Mexico are you in? I would imagine you probably want to flip somewhere in Texas, New Mexico, or Arizona, maybe Southern California. Why? Because you're probably pretty close to one of those. What's the closest place for you?
Florida. I'm in Cancun. So the closest for me will be Florida.
Okay, you're in Cancun. Got it. Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So if you ever wanted to check on your properties, Florida would be the place. Okay, so this is pretty simple. You choose a market. You chose Florida. Love it. Picked it. Okay. You're afraid to pick a market. So many people are afraid to pick a market. So they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I'm afraid to pick a market because now I can't change my mind. You can change your mind. You've been changing your mind your whole life. Okay. But let's just say you choose Florida. Okay. Miami sucks. Don't go to Miami. Miami's full of crime. It's literally the only state or the only city I will ever say that about. It's full of crime, title issues. You have so much fraud going on in Miami. Don't do anything in Miami fix and flip wise. Okay. Anything from Fort Lauderdale up is a great place to go, like Broward County or et cetera. Okay. So if you just want to flip houses, you could just go to the free Facebook group and buy deals on that free Facebook group from my students. Like you don't have to be in the Elephant Challenge unless you're trying to network with people. There's no need for you as a fix and flipper to spend any time trying to find any deals on DealSauce or in the Elephant Challenge. You can just buy deals from people like me or people that are in the Elephant Challenge finding those deals. So you're welcome to stay, but if I were you, I would stop trying to learn how to find deals.
Yeah.
I would have people bring
all in hands.
What's that?
We have everything in hands, so but it's good to know how to do it.
I mean, I used to think that way, but honestly, I think that's a poor person's mindset. It's kind of like people that say, and I'm trying to get out of that mindset myself. It's like people go, oh, it's good to know how to change your oil. No, it's not. It's not good to change your oil. Have somebody else do that. Do you want to be rich? Yes, I want to be rich. Do rich people know how to change their oil? No. Okay, well then don't learn how to do that. If you're wanting to be a fix and flipper, then learn what fix and flippers do. I teach that too. But what I would be doing is I would spend more time networking the side chat than I would be spending time paying attention to me. Does that make sense? Or go on my YouTube channel and talk about and like watch my videos about fixing and flipping. I fix and flip a lot, but we're not in here teaching you how to fix and flip today. We're teaching people how to go find deals and talk to sellers. Okay. But hang out with us, Joanna. We love you. We appreciate you. We want you to be in here. You're my first French Mexican friend.
What do you think about first beginning to do wholesaling in first and then doing it?
No, don't do that.
Yeah.
If you're going to be a fix and flipper, be a fix and flipper. What are you doing? Why would you want to wholesale if you're going to be a fix and flipper? What's the point of wholesaling?
I don't know, maybe to see like how the real estate market works.
Okay, wholesale fixing and flipping does the same thing.
So first buying, you will recommend to first buying.
Yeah, well, here's what I would recommend. I would recommend learning how to use DealSauce to comp properties. We can do that for you tomorrow. We can show everybody how to comp properties tomorrow. And I would learn how to comp properties so that you can start looking at deals. And the first skill I want you to learn, Joanna, and then I'm going to jump onto somebody else because you are a flipper. The first skill I want you to learn, okay? I'm going to give you a little game plan. You're just real quick, okay? You ready? What would you call somebody that's a French Mexican? A Frenchican? A Frenchican? No? French?
Why not? Why not?
It's got to be a Frenchican. She's a Frenchican. Okay. Charles said, a Mexi-French? No, that doesn't roll off the French-sican. I like that. That's pretty good. French-sican. Okay. So here's step number 1 for you. Okay. Step 1. I want you to learn how to comp properties. Step 2. By the way, I still learn how to comp properties. You'll never master this. It's just you want to get some basics down. Step number 2 is I want you to find 5 wholesalers in my Subto community that are in the market you want to flip, like let's say Fort Lauderdale. Step 3, I want you to learn how to say no. That's the first skill you need to learn is how to say no to a flip. Why would you say no to a flip? That's your game plan. Learn how to comp, find 5 wholesalers, learn how to say no. Is that simple enough?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about comping tomorrow. Okay, sound good? Okay, awesome. Joanna, you didn't know I was going to pick on you, and I had no idea we were going to go down the French Riviera, but I'm glad we did. That was great. Okay, what's a Zoom for learning what to do in real estate? Chirac. Probably, it's interesting to me how little y'all have watched my YouTube channel. Like, let's just go here. You guys, if you guys have like basic questions, because this is what happens in the Elephant Challenge every time. I focus on newbies, and newbies in the Elephant Challenge have the most basic questions that could be answered with a simple YouTube search. So check this out. Pace Morby, where to start or where to get started. Check it out. Did you know that I've made these kind of videos? How to get started. This is a 6-hour video, guys. Like, I give away, there's another one, an hour and a half long video, hour and 44-minute video. Okay, like starting point, first deal for dummies. Go watch some of these videos. How get started now. Oh my gosh, that's a great one. If you have a question of like, hey, how do I know? Now, here's the best one. Check it out. Pace Morby avatar. Finding your avatar, finding out who you are. That's a 3-hour and 21-minute video. Go watch this. I couldn't even grow facial hair. Oh my gosh, wouldn't it be great if Jenna was on here with me? Okay, so this is an avatar video that breaks down each type of avatar. Like, are you a capital raiser? Are you a helper? Are you a cash buyer? Are you a connector? Are you a leader? Should you go work for someone? I literally break down 26 avatars. Go watch it. Spend the time. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Let's do some homework before we end the night. Okay, should we give everybody some homework, Jenna?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, Jenna, are you a good cook?
My daughter is actually probably better than me.
What? She's like 14.
Yeah, this is her. She's eavesdropping.
Let me see her. Hey, what's your name, dude?
It's Addison.
Hey, Addison. Who do your homies call you, Addie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they all call her Addie.
What does your mom call you?
Tiki.
Yeah, I used to call her Tiki when she was little.
That's cute. Why is that?
I don't know. I just called her a Tiki bird when she was little.
That's cute. Hey, Addison.
Yeah.
What's your specialty if you made food tonight?
Ratatouille.
Oh, your meatloaf is really good.
Liar. You can make ratatouille?
Yes.
That's freaking awesome. Like, you think it's as good as the movie Ratatouille because I watched that movie? Come on.
What? Oh, I look like I have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, she looks like a mess.
Yeah, typical girl stuff. Addison, it was good to meet you, and thank you for letting your mom hang out with us so late. It's like almost 10 o'clock over there.
She is a friend over too, so she's too cool to hang out with us.
A friend is over on a Tuesday night. Jenna, what's going on with your parenting over there?
I'm a cool mom. Okay.
I'd say so. Okay, cool. So let's give everybody some homework. Okay, this is all we're going to do. And tomorrow, what I want to do is we're going to start off really quick. Here's what I want to do. We're going to pull a foreclosure list in the market that you want to go after. And tomorrow I'll call 20 sellers back to back as the first hour. And I'll show people the opening line and I'll give people a script. I was teasing about the script thing. I use a script for everything, just so you guys know. Okay, so let's go pull a list. Jenna, let's walk through it one more time. You're in charge. Let's pull a quick foreclosure list. Give everybody the list. I want a small list. I don't like big lists. I want small lists because I don't have a VA. I don't have a team calling for me. I want to call as little amount of people as I can. So let's go Maricopa County. Okay. Actually, should I call in a different market besides Arizona?
I mean, it's all based on you. I mean, I love Jacksonville. That's one of my favorite new markets, but I'm a little partial to it. So, I mean, we can go anywhere, wherever you'd like to go.
I almost want to be like north. Let's do California. I want it to be like a real thing.
Okay. I like Cleveland too. Like Cleveland, there's a lot of good activity. It's like a really good rental market too. But
okay, so let's pull a list in Maricopa County because it's something that I'll actually buy. I don't want to be like making fake phone calls.
Okay.
Maricopa County. So guys, pick your market first. We're going to then go to our filter. And on the filter, I want low equity. I want a sub-2 deal. I want to buy a sub-2 deal tomorrow. Okay. So low equity. How many low equity deals do we have? One?
No, there's 84,602.
Okay, you haven't clicked on foreclosure yet.
Oh, you want me to do that one? Okay.
Yeah, I want foreclosure.
Yeah.
And now here's a good question I have. Last pre-foreclosure notice day says last 3 months. I want the ones that are going to lose their house in a week. Is there any way for you to filter that out?
We can try to do the last month.
Okay.
So no, that would be too far gone. Like let's go over here. Let's go to the auction date. Let's look at the auction in the next
There
month.
we go. Next month. Okay, auction date. That's what I want.
56.
There's my list right there. That's my list. 56 houses. I even think that's too many.
Yeah, like this one, I mean, it's an actively listed property. I mean, they're putting them on the market for sale. So
Okay.
they need to do something.
Okay, everybody. Here's what we're going to do. Tomorrow, we're for everybody who does their homework, okay, you have DealSauce. We're going to partner everybody up with each other to make sure that you guys can make calls, and we're going to submit offers tomorrow. I'm going to show you guys how to do this, okay? Eddie says, can you filter by rate? Can you filter by rate?
Would you like me to show you that, Pace? Heck yeah, we
Please,
can.
Jenna, I need you to teach me.
Yeah. So if we go into the mortgage info area, so we can come in here and you can decide what you want. So if you
Max me out at 4%.
Okay.
But I want like 20 houses.
21, pretty
21. Close. Can you do something for me? There we go. 21. There we go. That's what I want. I don't want 56 houses. I want 21. That's my list. Okay. Can you do me a favor? Can you skip trace that list and get it ready for me to call tomorrow?
Yeah, and I'm going to show everybody how we would do that. So what I would do, because I don't know if I have a payment method in here, so I'll do that afterwards. But so you would just come in here, you would select your list here, and they're going to show up in the My Lead section. And that's kind of almost like your Amazon shopping cart. That's like your little shopping cart. Here's where you can decide how you want to check out. So you can either direct mail them, you can download them outside of the system, you can save them to your portfolio into your CRM, or we can go right into Lead Trace. So we're going to come in here. And you're going to see like whether these people, it's in their personal name, whether it's in a trust, whether it's some sort of an LLC, S Corp, anything. We do pierce that corporate veil. We will get you the person's info behind that corporation or whatever it may be. A lot of times we're going to get the person's name that's affiliated with the entity as well. So it's not like you're having to call some, hi, is this, I Buy Houses LLC? Like it gets you the person's name. It's going to get you multiple phone numbers as long as we can get it. So house numbers, cell phone numbers. We do scrub it against the do not call list and the national litigators list. So that's really important. You will see that. That's a way to keep you guys safe and protected. And then we're just going to go to continue. And this is just, how often, if you skip trace them within the last 12 months, do you want it to still do it? Do you want it to do it every, if you've skip traced them in the last 20, if you do this all the way over to the left, that means even if you skip trace them yesterday, it's just going to automatically re-skip trace them. So just kind of figure out what kind of time frame for duplicate wise. And then we'll just go to continue. And then it's just going to give you the terms and conditions and we're going to accept it. And then you'll see for a whopping $2.10 if we can swing that. Again, like if you'd put your payment info in here and then you would place your order and then you would get an email, whatever email you guys signed up with, it will go to your email. And it's usually like something like this would be like a matter of like minutes, a minute or two. And then you also get a little notification up here. You'll see this little bell. And so it will look like there's a little notification and then it will tell you your list is ready and you can download it from here or you can download it from your email and it comes to you in a CSV file. So you can convert that to an Excel document if you want it that way or however you want to do it. But then obviously we're just going to literally go through and reach out to them.
Okay, I'm going to reach out to them tomorrow. So guys, here's the homework tonight. You're going to be pulling a list, okay? Super, super simple. We're going to pull a list of low equity, foreclosure, 4% or lower interest rate loans, and we are going to call them tomorrow. I'm going to show you guys how to call them tomorrow, how to pick a market. Stop overthinking. That's how you do it. Sneeze, and whatever biggest snot drop hits your screen, that's your market. Who cares? Who cares, guys? You're overthinking stuff. Let's just take some action. Pull a list in any market. Here's a better one. Ask yourself, what's a town you'd really like to go visit? And that's the market. The filter is, George, I got to ask a question. This is just, I really do try and go really slow. I got to ask, George, where were we when we went through it a couple of times? Where were you, George? When he's like, go through it again. Bro.
Cutting the lawn, somebody says.
That's good. Okay, I like that. He got me. Okay, low equity, foreclosure, 4%. We're going to send you the replay so you guys can rewatch it a couple of times tonight. Your homework is to have that done before tomorrow, and then I'm going to call all 21 of those sellers tomorrow. Raza says, what determines how you dispo? Raza, that is literally getting the cart before the horse is even born. You don't even have anything to dispo, bro. Why are you even asking a question about do you see how newbies get so far ahead of themselves that they get so analytical about something that doesn't even matter? That'd be like if my daughter comes to me and says, or not my daughter, but let's say my son comes to me, he's 17 years old, and he says, man, I can't even make something up that's like that far off in advance. Like something that, Dad, this is a good one. Dad, what kind of casket should I get when I die? Bro, what are you talking about? You're going to live for 100 years. Why would you even ask me that question right now? I don't know. Just like curious. Well, can you be curious about anything other than something that's not going to happen for 100 years? Like, can you be curious about something that's maybe happening right now? Like, guys, I'm okay with you being curious, but stop getting 10 steps ahead of yourself. It's one of the reasons why you keep tripping up. One of the reasons why you're failing is you're overthinking. Your brain is creating barriers in your way, and your brain is saying, please don't change. Please don't learn anything new. Don't do anything cool with your life. Stay exactly where you are. You're going to learn on the Elephant Challenge how to pull a foreclosure list. I don't think so. I'm going to send you overthinking things in your brain so we stay in the same place. Okay? Guys, like literally we showed you how to do the thing, and your only gut reaction is to ask a question that doesn't even pertain to you for 2 months. Isn't that, I'm not being rude. Hopefully you understand I'm not trying to be rude. I'm trying to just be honest. I wish somebody told me this when I was first learning, like, dude, be curious, but be curious about what we're doing right now. Okay? Be curious about what we're doing right now. Stop thinking about tomorrow. So, Pace, how do you feel about land right now? Land right now is dope. Go watch my YouTube channel. I made a couple of YouTube videos about land. It's awesome. Jenna, you're amazing. You pulled a list for me. We'll see you back here tomorrow, and I'll call all 21 sellers. You're going to see me go through my foreclosure script.
Okay. Somebody in the chat asked what your link was, so I put it in there, the saucemydeals.com.
Is it sauceyourdeals.com or sauce my deals?
My deals.
Okay, sauce my deals.
You can get saucy.
Okay, sweet. Guys, I'm going to go hang out with my kids in the pool right now. Jenna's going to go to bed since it's 10 o'clock where she's at. Guys, give Jenna love, please. She freaking showed up an hour early, stayed super late. She could have left. She didn't. She's unbelievable. Thank you, Jenna. We really appreciate you.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Do you think it's possible I could get a house under contract tomorrow?
I think we could. I think we should try. Heck yeah.
Okay, we're going to try. The replay will get emailed out to everybody in the morning, guys. Just FYI, saucemydeals.com. You don't need a link because you know how to type. Jenna, you're amazing. We'll see you tomorrow. Everybody, thank you so much for dealing with my lateness and also for the snafu on Zoom. We found out, by the way, it was one of my team members trying to log in to run a different Zoom, and they accidentally logged into the wrong Zoom account, and they kicked us out. So thank you for the patience on that. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you. See you guys tomorrow.